Yo dudes, what's up? This is Planet Keith and it's episode 42 of the random occasional vlog thing. So it's been a couple of months since the last one and quite a lot has happened. About a month ago we went to the East Coast to Withernsea to visit my sister for a weekend, and that was quite interesting. But we didn't go out and paint the town red because she'd just spent all her spending money for that week on buying a second-hand folding bicycle. And, well, that's grand because it's very flat round Withernsea, so riding a bike is pretty easy. However, it did inspire Mrs. Planet to reevaluate her cycling choices because she's had a bike for about 5 years that she got for nothing on Free Cycle. See what I did there? Free Cycle. Well, it needed a bit of fixing up and it never got that. So she was all inspired when we got back to get it fixed up. And so the following weekend we took it to a bike shop and I had a look at it and totted everything up that needed doing. And it came to £180, which is quite close to what you'd pay for a brand new bike. So she had a look and they had one on offer, a folding bike, for, well, just under £300, a penny short. So basically she bought it. And then about another 60 quid of accessories, you know, the helmet, the big lock, actually more than 60 quid, a pannier, and oh yeah. And she's ridden it into work a couple of times. Fortunately, where she's working at the moment, they have a bike store in the basement, so that's pretty cool. So going back to the trip to Withernsea, it was, you know, pretty uneventful. We enjoyed it and had a very nice ride back via some, but you know, not the direct route. Where did we go? Did we go? I think we went to Driffield. Yeah, we went to Driffield. That was interesting. We had a really rubbish breakfast. Yeah, and, you know, just really took it easy. It took several hours to tootle back, not going on the motorway. So I was quite astonished a couple of weeks later to get a letter from West Yorkshire Police. And I'm like, oh, well, what have I done? And I opened it. It says, notice of intention to prosecute. Quaking. Turns out I was caught speeding. I was doing 36 miles an hour in a 30 mile an hour zone. Now, I don't speed generally, but this was in roadworks, and possibly well, you know, when I see roadworks coming up and they've reduced the speed limit, I do not slam on the anchors. I just keep going with the speed that the other traffic's doing. And, you know, I never ever had a speeding ticket in my life. But on this occasion, there was no other traffic. It was a Sunday afternoon. But, you know, the photo shows the little dot of my Mini in the middle of 3 lanes of nothingness and, you know, some traffic cones, but nobody working on it. So me doing 36 miles an hour in that situation poses no risk to anybody, basically. Anyway, what do I know? I'm just a criminal. So, so it says you can pay £100 fine and get 3 penalty points on your licence. So if you don't know, in the UK, if you accumulate 12 penalty points within 3 years, you get banned. So yeah, or the alternative to paying the fine is to go on a speed awareness course. And I thought that might be, well, actually I thought that might be cheaper, but also it means you don't get the penalty points. Well, it was marginally cheaper. It was actually £88. And you had the option of doing it live at you know, in a grotty meeting room in a travel lodge or somewhere, or do it on Zoom. So I opted for the Zoom alternative because it's like almost a 3-hour course. I don't know how they managed to make it last that long, but I expect I'll find out, and I expect I'd better not be stroppy about things, you know. It's just, you are a criminal, accept it. And, you know, I know what the risks, the dangers of speeding are. That's why I never do it. But anyway. One of the reasons why I'm not doing any speeding at the moment is the clutch on my little Mini is dying to the extent that, you know, it struggles to get up hills, and we've got a lot of hills around here. So I took it to me good old garage for a quote, and they said 450 quid. I'm like, okay, plus that, 540 quid, not so good. So that'll have to wait a while till I've got that much cash. Not good. But anyway, at least at the end of that, I'll have a lovely shiny clutch and it'll go up hills like a rocket. We had a cracking weekend last weekend. It started with, Mrs. Planet had said, do you want to go to Leeds Lending Library for a 1.5 hour thing on to mark Dylan Day? And I thought, oh yeah, a lot of whiny folk singing, that'll be fun. Turned out I was completely wrong about that, and I was also completely wrong about the venue, because what I had in my mind was Leeds Public Library, which is a thing of Victorian wonder that I was eager to take photos of. However, it wasn't that. Leeds Lending Library is a privately owned subscription library, and it was established in something like 1768. So it's got a lot of very, very old books, and it's quite fascinating. Bits of it are that old, and they are quite handsome. So the Dylan thing was in what they call the New Room, which was an extension that was built 200 years ago. So things are going to get puzzling, because they bought the building next door but one. And, there'll be more. They were the newer rooms. It turns out Dylan Day is about Dylan Thomas, the Welsh poet. And so basically this event was people in the room reading one of his poems and then reading one of theirs, and also about half a dozen experts, if you like, around the world on Zoom doing the same thing, or talking. So they had a lot of technical problems with that, and a lot of patience was required, but it was interesting. I don't get poetry. I just don't understand most of it, and I think, well, I thought maybe I'd see if I could, get any understanding of it. But no, sorry, I'm just, I don't know, a heathen Philistine, something like that. So when that finished, we had a mooch around town. It was a gorgeous sunny day, and people were out in droves, millions of people, and there was lots of street entertainment going on. And it was fabulous. And of course, we finished up in a pub at the wonderful Whitelocks, which is possibly, and the Turk's Head, which are conjoined, possibly the oldest pubs in Leeds, or so they claim. And, down a long alleyway, which has benches and tables and things. So that was wonderful. And then wandered around town for a few hours, and I was taking photos with my new camera, which isn't a camera, it's a mobile telephone. The Galaxy S10, which I got a couple of months ago, and I've just been exploring the cameras. It's got 3 cameras on it, well, 4 actually. 1 on the front, 3 on the back, and the things that you can do with it, especially the wide angle. I'm loving that, because it means you can get more stuff in, which is great for townscapes and landscape and things. And so I'll wander around town, and then got the bus home in time to miss the first 15 minutes of the FA Cup final between Liverpool and Chelski. Obviously, I want Liverpool to win, and they did eventually. But it was after extra time, and after penalties, and after extra sudden death penalties. So, I think a victory like that, it isn't really a victory, even though, Liverpool had most of the play and were the better team, I think, but just couldn't manage to pop it in the goal. And then after the footy, it was the Eurovision Song Contest final, and oh my God. I know it's pretty uncool to be a fan of Eurovision, but guess what? I'm not cool anymore. I used to be, and I would have not ever admitted to enjoying the Eurovision Song Contest, but now I really do. And this year it was very special, because, Russia were banned, Ukraine were joint favourites with the UK. Yes, the UK actually had a decent song, a decent performer. So yeah, the British entry was Spaceman by Sam Ryder, who is the smiliest dude on the planet, and everybody says he's really, really nice and really genuine. And comes across as that and really deserved to win, and was winning the jury vote, which accounts for 50% of it. But then there's a phone-in with Joe Public, and that can overturn everything, and it did, because everybody voted for Ukraine. But you know, the UK came second, which is just as good as coming first. It's actually the first time the UK has finished in the top 5 or top 3 for 20 odd years. So that was great. Really enjoyable. And the other thing that I enjoyed about it was this one of the hosts. There were 3. There was Alessandro Catalan, Laura Pausini, and Mika. And so I didn't know who this Mika was, but he had extremely good English. It turns out he's a Lebanese Brit, and was very, very popular in the late 2000s, 2007 onwards. And I completely missed that because, you know, we were living abroad somewhere. And so, yeah, anyway, he did a medley of his hits, and one of them, Grace Kelly, I've heard it in the background occasionally and never known what it was, but I always thought, I like that, and now I know what it is, and I can't get it out of my head. Anyway, that's what's been happening. Hope you enjoyed hearing about it, and see you next time.